There we go. I can hear you. Are you there, Jeffrey? I heard you for a second, and then it went all dark. Are you there, Jeffrey?
Hello.
Yes, now I've got you.
Hi. This is obviously not Jeffrey.
I
This is
I
his.
figured but in today's socially charged world, if it says a Zoom name, I'm saying it. I'm not stepping outside of the lines. What's your real name?
Um, I'm Jeffrey's wife, and I am the artist. We're a husband and wife team in this venture.
Nice.
I have a question about shipping.
Yes.
We're really struggling with determining shipping for. We just got into Etsy,
Mm-hmm.
but for our website, it's the biggest obstacle that we're finding.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You know what the biggest obstacle
Tell me
is?
what to do. Tell me.
Selling the work.
You got
Do you
that
know
right.
what's not an obstacle?
What's that?
Everything else. Everything else. The selling the work is no problem. The beautiful thing about shipping in this business is art and wall art, you could say, has not been Amazonified yet, meaning the expectation is not that shipping is free. Okay? So you do what I would do in your case? I would say I would put the stuff up for sale. I would sell it. I would say on Etsy it's a little bit less straightforward because you have to put the shipping charges, and I would say shipping TBD. And then I would go find out what it cost because I got the order. Then I would tell the person it cost $50, and they'd say fine, and they'd pay it, and I'd ship it. I would not stress 1 second on shipping because you know what happens? You start stressing on shipping. 3 months later, you haven't sold anything, and how many hours have you wasted stressing on shipping? Don't care. Don't care. Sell the stuff first. Worry about the shipping later.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I mean, I don't want you spending a second. A second. And you forgot to tell me what your name is. I know it's Jeffrey's wife, but what's your
Oh, my name is CJ.
CJ? Okay, yeah. So no stressing about shipping, CJ. Only stressing about the selling. I mean, what did you charge for shipping on Etsy? You had to put something in there on Etsy, didn't you?
We just got into Etsy as of yesterday.
Yeah. Well, you say you just got into Etsy. Like it's hard to get into Etsy. All you have to do is upload your stuff and turn it on, right? Okay. Yeah. And it's okay to do Etsy. It's everyone struggles with Etsy for the most part, aside from a few people, just because there's so much stuff on Etsy. Um,
Absolutely. The competition on Etsy is fierce.
yeah, it's just it's you're just one of thousands and thousands and thousands, and the computer algorithm sort of dictates whether or not you make it or not. And I'm not knocking Etsy; it's just the reality of any of the marketplaces. Um,
Right.
yeah, we stand in a sharp contrast to it. But don't overthink the shipping. You'll do okay.
Thank you so much. My nerves have just gone down about 200%.
Exactly.
I
And trust me,
appreciate it.
you get the sale and you just say, you know what, I've never shipped there before, and I've been working on this new carrier. Let me just go get a quote, and then go down there and get a
So
quote.
let me just ask another question then.
Yeah.
We are currently stating and offering on our website free shipping.
Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Should we
Don't do that.
continue to do that?
No. No. Well, let me put it this way. Yes, you can do free shipping. The way to do free shipping is, let's say you're going to charge $1,500 on a particular piece. That's what you would like to charge. Charge $1,750 for it, and then say free shipping. And just know that $250 is your window to ship it.
Okay.
So you can. That's one way to do it. But again, that's why I brought up the Amazonified, right? Like Amazon has destroyed a great many e-commerce merchants because the expectation is now that you get shipping for free. It is such a strong expectation that I will not buy it from you directly, the merchant, and will go to Amazon just so I don't have to deal with it, right? But that has
Mm-hmm.
not come to art yet, period. There is no expectation of free shipping with wall art. Just because it's big, people understand that. Let's thank you, Lord. Let's please have it stay that way. As long as it does, then there's not going to be any shipping sticker shock. They'll understand. And
Okay.
worst case scenario, if it's like I called you up and I'm like, CJ, I really dig this piece. I want it. I'll give you $1,400 for it. And you're like, cool. Let me go find out what the shipping is. Um, Now all I have is $1,400. Then you can make a decision. You want to throw the shipping in? Throw the shipping in, right? Don't lose the deal over the shipping. But most people don't care, and I find that across the board with all my customers. I don't really have anyone ever complaining about shipping.
All right. You've been very precise about it. I really appreciate it.
That's my pleasure, CJ. That's what we do. Thanks. Okay, Julie, I'm going to get into yours next. And Julie was asking, well, why don't you just ask it again, Julie, and then we can go from there. And you'll need to unmute Julie. Microphone icon, bottom left-hand corner. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I understand it's very important to build a collector list,
Mhm.
but the issue is, I help my son run his art business, and
Mhm.
he's basically a beginner.
Mhm.
And the issue is that how on earth do we even build this collector list?
Aha.
He was in an art show last year
Mhm.
and the previous time, so we've got like only 30 names on our on our
Mhm.
subscriber list right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And he has an Instagram account and a
Mhm.
Facebook,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we've been putting posts up there, but it turns out all these people are mostly other artists. They're
Oh, I've
not going to
never
be
heard of
like,
that before. Trust me. I always hear about that. I was kidding, Julie. I hear about that every single solitary day. Other
so
artists just follow other
they're not
artists.
customers.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And I don't know how on earth do you actually go and get all these collectors.
Yes.
How do you build a subscriber list?
Yes. Well, the good news with either collector list or subscriber list, everyone builds them the same. One subscriber and one collector at a time. Okay. You have the rest of your son's career to build it up. So have that perspective. It's important. That's number one. Number two, early on, you fake it until you make it. Okay. And what do I mean? The notion of a collector list is there are these people that you are rewarding, okay, for purchasing your art. You're giving back to them and saying, hey, collectors, because you've bought my art before, you get to see my new stuff before anyone else. You're rewarding them for having collected from you in the past, okay? So the premise is that you're gonna take care of these people that have supported you. Well, the premise goes down another couple rungs in the ladder, or up, depending on how you want to look at it. You got 30 people on the email list, treat them like the collectors, okay? Hey, email subscribers, because you guys are on my list, is my way of saying thank you. I'm going to let you see this brand new series of work before anyone else. And then guess what? You get one person that's purchased the work. You now have one official collector, and then you let that person know before the email list, and then you let the email list know before the public. And that's how it goes. And you start that discipline early on, and it just goes with you throughout the rest of your art career. Straight up. These people who purchase your work get to see the new stuff, get first access to the deals for the rest of their lives, and then the people on the email list, so too, but to a lesser extent, and that's how it goes, right? You're looking at me in consternation. Did it make sense or not make sense?
So you're hoping that I'm hoping that they will let their friends know, is it?
No, 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 no. So how could I explain it? It's kind of like the VIP list at a club,
Yeah.
right? You know, like you're just saying you're a VIP, okay? And some subtle psychology of reciprocation comes in and works at that point because you're treating those people special. They feel special. They want to reward you, so they end up buying more work. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that play at it, but the long and the short of it is one of the unique instances of this particular business, by which I mean being a creative, putting out creative stuff and selling it, is there's a collector mentality. Certain people, they really enjoyed buying multiple pieces over the course of a lifetime. That's just like unique to this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you want to take care of those folks. You want to send them Christmas cards, right? You want to like and comment their social post. You want them to feel like they're staying at the Four Seasons, right? Or like a really nice
Mm-hmm.
hotel. So once you have that concept conceptually, you just carry that through the rest of your career, right? Like
Right.
I will run a live art show on Wednesday, okay? On Sunday, I will email all of my collectors and say, hey guys, I'm going to run a live art show on Wednesday for the public. Because you're collectors or because you're on my email list, you get to come to the private show on Sunday, meaning you get to see all these new works before anyone else, right? And so now those people feel special. So that's sort of the way that it goes.
Mm-hmm. But how do I get more people?
You do
You know?
marketing. You do marketing and more art shows and more social posts, and you capture emails and you do live art shows and you do in-person art shows and you market all year long consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thanks very much.
Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. Don't worry. It's like not something you need instantaneously. Like it takes time, right? It takes time. But why I'm spending extra time on you, Julie, is because how old is your son?
He's 21 right now.
Oh my gosh. He's got 70 years of doing this, right? So if he starts doing this correctly now and you build this into his practice now, by the time he's 41, he's going to be he's going to be so many years ahead of his contemporaries and his peers because he's done this from the get-go. I can't tell you how many people are on this call that have been selling art for 30 or 40 years and have not done this. They don't even know who's purchased their work. They've never kept up with them, right? It's like they bought a plant and they never watered it and it died. Now it's dead. They can't get it back to life. So that's a way to think about it, all right?
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. So Gordon, I gotta tell this story. Number one, I got your email. Okay, Gordon, I got your email. Don't worry, and I'm gonna respond to it. It's just been a busy week. But can I just tell you guys, Gordon is 80. Okay, and he came on here like a week ago, and he's like, I'm 80, and he's asking for advice how to get his art business kicked off and going. And if that doesn't tell you, okay, if that doesn't tell you the longevity that you potentially have in this business, then I don't know what else. And I got to tell you, Gordon sends me an email and he goes, Patrick, I'm really excited to get this going. Just know that I'm 80 though, and I will occasionally need to take my naps. Gordon, that made me laugh. I want you to know how much that made me laugh. You sort of made my day with that, okay?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I sure can.
Good. You know, Julie really had my question. Now, this is something that I've thought about years ago when I got more into this and you didn't have things like, you know, I went out and I just researched people that I knew were buying art, big time people, you know, famous people, because I knew that artists to really get going. I think I got this from a book actually on marketing your art. And it was very discouraging, to tell you the truth, because most of them end up, the ones who get really famous, they end up burning their art or something like that because of taxes and
yeah, let's not talk about that.
Laws.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. That's more of a Canadian thing than an American thing, I think, but yeah.
Anyways, I wrote down, I got these, researched them online, and I had, what's his name, the famous comic, I remember, he was one, but I found people that really collected art, because I knew I couldn't marry Peggy Guggenheim, and that was a surefire way to become famous, you know, is marry her.
That would have worked.
Yeah, that works. And so I never really got a response back. Now, is there a way to get?
No. The premise to your question, Gordon, is that there's a shortcut. There is absolutely no shortcut. There's never been a shortcut. There never will be a shortcut. Shortcuts don't work. And, you know, going and looking for one, it'll never happen, right? Like, everyone's like, well, how do I get into a gallery, right? And it's like, what's the shortcut? What's the hack to get into a gallery? And I was like, go make a ton of noise with your marketing such that you start growing in prominence and that the galleries find you. That's the way you get into a gallery, at least a successful way to get into a gallery, right? So there's no shortcuts. But don't worry, Gordon, I have a plan for you. I've been thinking about it all week, and I'm going to respond to your email, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I got both of them, and I'll email you back. And I'm not kidding. That line about the nap made my day. So I want you to know that.
Oh, listen, I could take one now.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Scooter, he does it all the time.
Yep, my dog does too. He's napping at my feet right now. But just look for your email. I'll probably get back to you either this weekend or like Monday or Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to it, Patrick. And I think I'm supposed to talk to Chris afterwards here.
Okay, wonderful. You do that.
I hope she's monitoring or something.
She might be. I'll let her know you're coming, Gordon. I'll let her know you're coming. Thanks, buddy. Dave, go ahead.
Hey,
how bad do you want to have Gordon selling your art, by the way?
Oh, I would. Yeah, Gordon's the best.
Yeah,
he's Gordy for president.
Yeah, Gordon Swayze, head
I would
salesman.
Gordy right now. Give me those racehorses, Gordy.
Yeah, I love it.
But hey, my question is: do you guys have data on what size prints are selling most?
Yes, the medium-sized ones.
So like 24, 36.
Yeah, the way to think about it is like, go into all your friends' houses and you notice how there's nothing huge in any of your friends' houses by and large, right? The normal wall sizes is what sells.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yeah. What else? Michelle, you're back. You got to have questions. You wouldn't have come back out of the blue. I'm gonna unmute you. You'll have to hit your mic icon.
Yes, I am back out of the blue.
Yeah, it's been a couple whiles. What drove you back out of curiosity?
I just missed listening to you talking about selling art. I'm not quite ready yet. I'm trying to find a new job, so things are up in the air for me. I'm very busy right now, so I'm not getting started on selling the art, but I'm still interested in art storefronts.
Good. But you can get started on trying to sell the art without joining us. You know that.
True.
Don't use me. I will get started when I sign up. I want you to start yesterday. But you
yesterday.
Yeah, you come on enough that I can poke and prod you a little bit like that. So that's what I would say. Okay, well, you keep me in the loop, but I just want to say good seeing you again, okay?
I certainly will. Thank you.
All right. Okay, next up is Michael. Go ahead, Michael. And then Seth, I'll get to you too.
Hi. Hi there. So I stepped outside of my studio. I hope it's not too loud out here.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. So I've been getting calls from you folks for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally decided, I looked at my phone and, there you were. So I decided to get online, and I liked what you had to say.
Oh, cool.
But what I'm concerned about is you have to have this list. Now, I've been selling work for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people that have bought a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of those folks, because I have a beautiful studio,
Mm-hmm.
it's in a wealthy area, and I have that already here. Isn't there a way to get new business?
Yeah, of course. That's what we teach you to do.
But I mean, without having that list is what I'm saying. Without that list that you're talking about.
Well,
just if you have a great location, and you have somewhat of a following, which I have.
Yeah, you use that and you build out from that. But when we say list, let's separate the two, because one, there's a collector list, right? Which that means the people that have purchased your work that you market to, and we do a ton of stuff with that. That's number one. And then number two, okay, is an email list, which is also a critically important component to the business. And the email list and that always growing is a super important way to grow and continue growing in our business without question. So it all just comes down to marketing that drives all of that. And you've got this great place, right, that you live and that you have set up and everything else, but you obviously want to grow well beyond that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's where the marketing comes in.
Well, I was just, you talked about an email list. What do you mean exactly by an email list?
People on your email list. So emails that you have of people that are interested in your art. Because you have to have some on your email list already, right?
I have a few. Well, my concern is establishing new contacts
mm-hmm.
without an existing list. Isn't there a way
to
reach out?
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that in the slightest. Everyone starts out in the same place, right? With not a ton of emails on their list. We have a whole bunch of tricky marketing techniques and tactics right out of the gate that help you gather more and more and more. So yeah, don't stress about that.
Well, that's what I'm kind of referring to.
Yeah, we teach you how to do that step by step, and there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it, right? Both online and offline.
I don't have a website actually.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which is, yeah, okay.
We offer those as part of the deal, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
What part of town?
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, what part of town is the gallery in, or the studio in?
Of Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Nice. Yeah.
It's outside Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's about 45 minutes west of Philadelphia.
Yeah. I've heard it.
And the last show I had at a gallery outside of my own space was about 11 years ago.
Got it.
And I did very well, and I sell a lot of work at times,
mm-hmm.
but it's feast or famine. It's one of those things, right?
Yes.
And I have a commission right now, about 3, and outside of that, I do a lot of plein air work.
Okay.
And I won the Easton last year for the quick draw, and so I do pretty well.
But you want to be doing better, and you want to grow and faster.
Much better, actually. Yeah. I think I can do a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. We can definitely help you. Have you done the whole demo, the test drive, and seen all the bells and whistles and everything that we have?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay. If you said they're calling you on the phone, though, you'd probably put in.
They called me a couple of times. I just was busy, and I, just didn't didn't do it.
Yeah. We all get busy. I totally get that. Okay, I'll find out. I'll find out who's trying to get in touch with you, and I'll let them know that you came onto this thing and interested.
All right,
in the
thank you
whole thing.
very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Okay, next up is Seth. Seth, you there?
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah. Once again, I have my question is, I have a couple of artworks, and I'm in West African Ghana, and people saw my work on my Instagram page from the States, and they want my artwork, but my problem is the shipping fee is more than the artwork itself, so I don't know what to do now. So
Yeah. It's hard. So you have to sort of stipulate the difference between originals and prints, right? So if you could sell a print of your work, which means you would need to get your work photographed so that you can reproduce it, then what you could do is you could have a U.S. printer reproduce the work and then ship it to the U.S. customer, right? And then because it's manufactured in the U.S., you would be able to do that quite easily, and that's like we call that print on demand, right? So how many different requests have you had come in? Like 2 or like 20?
it's less than 10.
Less
I
than
have
10.
less than 10. So now I'm planning of going to the States, and people are requesting for more of my artworks. So yeah, so now I'm planning to move to the States. But now the people who are buying the works want the work quicker than me going there. So now how will I do now? What will I do for that?
Yeah, so like I said, the easiest way to do it is like, let's say if you had a website with us, right? What happens when you have a website with us is if they order on your website, the order gets printed in the United States.
Probably I don't have a website yet, but I have Instagram page.
Yeah.
That's in my way.
Yeah, you've got Instagram. What I would do in the short term, Seth, is I would find a U.S. based printer. I can send you some ideas, and you get your work photographed there in Ghana, okay, by a local photographer that knows how to do it, and then you send the files to the printer in the U.S. You tell those people on Instagram to send the money, PayPal, Venmo, Bitcoin, however you want to collect it, right? And then once you get paid, send the money to the printer, and the printer will print the order and ship it to them, and then you can do it, boom, right there. And you can get that you can get that all set up the minute that you have the work photographed.
Okay.
And you know what else? Good luck in the World Cup. Okay. I hate Ghana. You guys have knocked the U.S. out like 2 times, at least 2 times out of the World Cup. So I was very happy not to see you guys in the World Cup group. But we'll see you in the tournament, huh?
All right.
Good talking to you, Seth. It's awesome. It literally speaks to like how international a business this truly is these days. We've got customers that are living in various different parts of the world, all over the world, and shipping orders all over the world. And it's one of just the amazing things about the nature of this business is like, don't get me wrong. It's not easy, okay? It's a lot of hard work to grow it and get it going and learn the marketing and do everything else. But the fact that you can produce something, you yourself, without sending to China for an injection mold or ordering 1,000 minimum of them, right? You can create a thing, and then you can go and sell a thing all over the world is pretty spectacular. That's just an amazing thing about the time that we live in. Go ahead, Julie, you're back.
Hi. My question is, for the prints, why do y'all recommend a 300% markup?
One, because we do 250% markup usually. Because a lot of what we do is you have a 250% markup for your normal times, and then you have a sale where you do 15, 20, or 30% off sometimes. So if you don't have that 250% margin built in, then when you run the sale, that 20 or 30% off is really going to eat into your margins, right? So it's nice to have some additional space to accommodate the sales process, which is why we do it.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And when you start at a higher price point too, you give yourself some decent room to negotiate and come down if that's what it takes to get the sale over the line.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All part and parcel of the game. Yeah. What else? I feel like I had something else to rant on now. I can't remember what it was. I don't know. I don't know. All right, Gordon, it looks like you had a follow-up question. You need to unmute, of course, Gordon. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I was thinking about this through the other discussions, about building a list and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What about all the people like artists and photographers in the art area of the site here, and we all go together and form a kind of a website or do it on a page on Facebook?
Yeah, that's just a gallery. It never works.
No, I was thinking about we could share contacts, collectors lists.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you it never works. Never works.
Doesn't, huh?
No.
Okay.
No. But I like it. I like that you're thinking caps on.
I look at it this way. If like Julie's son or whoever's doing the art, I think she said her son does well, I'll do well. And that's the way I look at it.
I like that abundance mentality. The rising tide will lift all boats, Gordon.
That's it. I say we can help each other.
I love it.
You feel better that way.
You better believe it. It usually doesn't work though. In it's sort of like a marriage, Gordon. So what you're proposing is like a marriage with multiple partners. That never works out. Not even for the Mormons. All right.
Or government.
Yeah, definitely not government. All right. I'm going to respond to your email, Gordon. Don't worry. Somebody asked me about limited editions. I don't know what specifically you're asking, Michael. So I'm gonna unmute you. What about limited editions? What's your question there? I love limited editions on balance. And you'll need to unmute, Michael, if you want to pop on. Mic icon, bottom left-hand corner. Just have to click it, boom, once, and that usually does it.
So,
there we go.
Do you advocate limited editions, and how many?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. So the answer to the question really is one of maths. Okay, and when I say one of maths, let me just explain it. I have like a little mind map here, and I'm gonna show it to you. What is that doggone thing called? Miro. That's what it's called. Hold on. So this is a mistake that a great many artists and photographers and creatives make in general, and they think that there's like some sort of magical formula that they have in their head that governs what good pricing looks like, right? And it's a huge folly. When I say it's just maths, you guys at the end of the day are just merchants, okay? Your one-man shows merchants, and I don't care if you're doing it in a retail capacity or if you're doing it in an online capacity, okay? What I have in this box here is what I believe constitutes website best practices, okay? And you need to have price points under $100. You need to have price points from 100 to 1,000, and you need to have price points above 1,000. And some people will say, well, Patrick, my price points start at 5,500. And I would say, okay, great. You need to have price points in your store for above 50,000, okay? And the rationale on this is everyone's followers, no matter who you are, okay, will inevitably fall into the socioeconomic bell curve. Low socioeconomic status, lower middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals. As a result of doing active marketing, you will attract people on that entire scale, okay? So it is incumbent upon you, the merchant, to have a product for everyone on that scale. And so many break these rules. This becomes even more important when you understand that you are playing the long game. You are going to potentially be selling to these people for the rest of your art selling life. And there's certain people that can only afford under $100 right now. And 7 years from now, because the socioeconomic bell curve is not a fixed variable, someone's going to get out of their mother's basement, buy their first house, and if you didn't sell them something for $100 6 years ago, they would have forgot you exist. After that, you need to have a combination of open editions, limited editions, and originals. It's a little bit less straightforward, obviously, if you are a photographer. But the number of them that you have is less important than hitting those various different price points, right? So when you have the open editions, and open editions just means prints, you could sell one of them, you could sell 10,000 of them, they're open, right? It never ends. The limited editions are a great way to have a step before the originals. Maybe you charge $5,000 for an original and $1,200 for a limited edition, and prints start at $350, right? So then you're starting to hit the buckets. So there's no magical formula, no magical one size fits all. So the way that I like to do it is, number one, do you have them? Good. Number two, are they priced less than your open edition, or more than your open editions and less than your originals? Good. Okay, you're winning. And then that's it. Have them in the store and see how you do. Right? There's
what do you mean by the difference between the original and the limited edition?
So, are you a photographer? Or are you an artist?
Both.
You're both. Okay. Well, let's just stick in the artist capacity. You paint the thing. That's the original. The reproductions are the limited editions, and the reproductions are the open editions, right? So that's the difference.
Okay. What about photography?
Photography, you have to get a little bit more creative with it, and you can do like one of one and call it the original on a certain size medium, right? It's technically a limited edition of one, or you can say I'm only ever going to print one of these, right? And charge a ton of money and do it that way. Certain people do it that way.
Yeah, but a digital file making.
Yeah, they're trusting you to have
1,000 of them.
Yeah.
It's a clone. So a clone is an original.
Yeah. So when you do one of one, they're trusting the artist to have the integrity to say I will never do another print of it, right? But also another way to do it is to say this will be the only time this image is ever printed on metal and ever on this size, right? And ever hand signed by me. And there's ways to do it that way too. So the key is just to have them and not get bogged down in the details. Do you have some now?
Yes.
How are they?
A lot now.
Limited editions.
Yes, I do.
But also open editions.
Very few.
Very few. Yeah. So we gotta fix that, right? Do you have prices? Go ahead.
So, but the reality of all this is simply this: I have 2 websites already that do very well in terms of analytics. You punch something up on Google, and for the past 9 months, I'm number 1. That's a fact. All right, but the market has basically dropped dead. So now the question is, I really don't need your website.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm more interested in your synapses. So, for example, if I don't use your website and I use your services, I read in the contract that will you in fact be able to use any of my images for your marketing?
What do you mean? Why be able to use your images for our marketing?
Well, if I allowed you to make a website for me, it says in the contract that you'll be able to use the images for your marketing.
Oh yeah, we don't do that without asking for permission.
Yeah, but it's in the contract.
Well, if it's in the fine print, then somebody probably snuck it in there. But I'm just telling you from a practical standpoint, anytime that we're like running marketing or running an advertisement, we always ask for permission. We don't just use people's images.
So basically, if I sign the contract, I can X that out initially. You'll
Sure.
sign it.
Fine.
And initial it also.
Fine. Yes. You could also say I don't ever want you to use my images, period, and we would sign that too. It doesn't matter to us. But the reason why you actually would want the website, and I can give you a bunch of reasons for that, is, if I came to your house right now, Michael, and picked you up and drove you down to that ATM machine and said, show me the button on the ATM machine that has a button that says analytics and gives you cash. There is no button that says analytics that's going to give you cash, right? The other websites are not doing anything for you or you wouldn't be here. The reason they're not doing anything for you is because you don't have a website problem. You have a marketing problem. You have a traffic problem. Art doesn't really sell from search engine.
But we all have a marketing problem at this point in time
100%.
over the last 3 years.
No. Since perpetuity.
Since what?
Since inception.
Inception of what? My website?
No, from the inception that you put a brush to a piece of canvas or you click the shutter, you had a marketing problem, right? That's the nature of this business.
I don't know. I think we're dealing with semantics at this point.
Yeah, but you would like to grow the business. To grow the business, you need more eyeballs. Hence, the marketing issue.
Well, everybody would like to do that. Otherwise, why are you in business?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, like, what are the current websites? And 100% you could, right? Like, we don't mandate you have to do any one thing at all. If you want to just come and take advantage and avail yourself of the marketing education and use your current websites, you can do that. But there's a million things that our websites have that yours don't, that will give you a leg up, okay? We have one feature that we don't talk about. It's called Art Buyer AI, and it's basically a proprietary cookie that we've written. The easiest way to think about it is if you walked into an Apple store right now, Art Buyer AI is a little video camera that's in the upper corner of the Apple store seeing everything that goes on. And so if I came to your website right now, Michael, and I looked at one print, and let's just keep it on the Apple example to keep it easy. I walked into the Apple store. I picked up an iPhone. Then I picked up a MacBook Air. Then I picked up an iPad Pro, set that down, bought the iPhone, and left. Instantaneously, our system will pop a little box up in your back end, and it'll say, Michael, Patrick just walked into your store, and he looked at the iPhone, he looked at the MacBook Pro, he looked at the iPad, and he bought the iPhone. Here is the email we think you should send him. And boom, an email popped up just like this, and it says, hey, Patrick, thank you so much for your purchase of the iPhone. I can't wait to ship it to you. I couldn't help but notice you also looked at the iPad as well as the MacBook Air. You probably didn't know this, but I offer a special first-time deal to customers that get more than one item. If that's something you'd like to talk about, let me know. Do you want to send it or do you want to edit it? So there's a million little things like that that will help you convert more of that traffic to your website into buyers that you don't have working for you currently.
However, I get enough of that in the metadata from the analytics to understand not only what pages they dropped on or spent time on, but also I know what equipment they're using to look at my website. How much more do I need? I need someone that will put actual cash in the palm or a credit card.
Yes, you do. No true words.
Everybody does, spoken. And that's the biggest problem right now.
Yeah. That's true. That is very, very true. But that's also why we exist. I mean, yes, we offer a website. That's part of what we do. The other part of what we do is we're a postgraduate university that only teaches art and photography, business, and marketing. So
well, I know that you're in Texas, which is a lot different than me coming from New York City.
Yeah.
Right. And in New York City, and also in West Palm Beach, Florida, there's a you-know-what load of photo galleries that have just shut their doors.
Yes.
Gone out of business, or moved away and working out of their apartments.
Yes.
It may be different than where you are, but when the only places where you can find art for sale are places like Sotheby's and places like that that are selling old-time dead photographers, you know, like Arnold Newman and Peter B. Kaplan and a whole litany of photographers. Patrick Demarchier that just passed away last week. For tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
But the next plateau, the next couple levels down, it's not, nothing's moving, because people want to be able to touch and feel a print in a gallery. Galleries aren't there to offer that existence.
Yes,
that's
but
that's the dilemma of the website.
No, that's not the dilemma of the website. Certain people want to go into a gallery and buy it in a gallery, but not everyone wants to go into a gallery and buy it on a gallery. I mean, did you watch the initial presentation about the live art shows?
Unfortunately, the time frame that this thing started, I could not. I only got here about 30 minutes ago.
Check this out. So her name's Carol Walker. She's a photographer. She does wild horses. She's in like northern Colorado, kind of like the border region there. I'll send you the video of these, and I could show it to you in a second. This was her first live art show. Is March 24th. She sold $1,800 worth of work. 6 pieces sold $303. First time she'd ever been on video. Did it in her studio. Was holding prints, showing them up. Second sale, 3 months later, sold $6,600. 49 pieces sold. Average order value $136. Third show, which was on 10/7 of last year, she sold $27,190. 119 pieces, $228 average order value. Her last show of the year of 2021. 7,687, 52 pieces sold, average order value $228.
And how much is that? How much is that? Did the gallery or did you guys take away?
None. 100% all directly to her.
So you don't make anything on those sales.
So these are live art shows, and you know it's kind of what I went over in the presentation earlier, and it's like one of the many things that we specialize in. But the reason I'm showing it is to push back against your conception that you feel like you need to be in the gallery whatsoever in the slightest. You absolutely don't. Like one of the most effective ways to sell art, period, full stop, is with these live art shows. And I know because I've run hundreds of them with my customers in various different capacities. And you do not need to be in a gallery in the slightest. In the slightest. Okay? You can turn the camera on, and this is a laptop camera. Well, she's a photographer, so she has like a nice digital camera that she's got like plugged into her thing. But she's not an actor, not an actress.
Amazing. They're very gentle, and
you know,
one of my
you can
favorite
tell.
wild stallions.
Not even pro audio, and she's walking around, and like she's not the only one. I've run hundreds of these things with customers now in every niche, in every part of this country, other countries. You know, every different type of subject matter, material imaginable, except when YouTube is loading slow, and it works insanely well. It works insanely well, and is probably the next best thing in contrast to selling in person that exists. The worst way to do it is actually via the website, right? Like the website serves a purpose. It's important that you have one, but there is a myriad of ways to do it that are significantly better than you know, just a website. I love this one because this guy's like a surf photographer, and you know, he's in his garage. But we've run more and more and more, and like I said, every niche, every part of this country, others. I mean, I could just go down and down and down and down the list, one after another, and I've just never seen anything that's as effective a marketing technique or tactic at all. And by the way, I'm going to send you, after this is over, a replay like this. So it'll be a page like this that'll have the replay, so you can go back and watch it and look at the results. And in addition to that, I'm going to send you this, which is how to run live art shows, a quick start guide, okay? And this is going to walk you through exactly what they look like from start to finish, why they are so insanely effective, real results from real artists with a real social following. You can see samples of their show. If you're so inclined, you can go and Google the artist's name. You could send them a message if you like, whatever you'd like to do there. But down at the bottom of this thing is the guide, and it will walk you through step by step. And you know, you think like, ooh, this sounds complicated, I can't do this. You're on a Zoom call. You're already doing it. You're already 90% of the way there. The only thing you're not doing is holding your work up. So in here is the equipment you need, inventory and pricing, how to get paid, where to stream the show, how to announce the show, what to do after the fact, and then there's some bonus content down there on the bottom. So it give you an idea, an example of the type of things that we do and that we teach our customers. But I like you, Michael, because you're skeptical.
Do you have a database that you can afford to show me that shows the mode, medium, and average of prices of what the photographers are selling their images for?
We could, but it's not going to help you out any. It's not going to help you out any, because underpinning that is a premise in your head that if you somehow know what the best selling pieces are size-wise and what the number one price points are, that you're going to somehow be able to bolt that into your business, and it's going to work and it's going to increase it. And I found over my years of doing it that there's no magical formula that works for every person. Everyone takes a little bit of a different path, and despite the fact that I would wish there was some sort of magical formula, there just isn't, right? Like, we have certain artists that have 5,000 followers on Instagram and certain artists that have over 1 million followers on Instagram, and the one with 5,000 followers on Instagram outsells the one with 1 million 20 to 1. Like, how the hell do I explain that, right? Like, where's the formula I'm going to extrapolate from that? So too with email subscribers sometimes. Everyone sort of just has a different subject material and a different way that they go about things and different geographical things that either help them or hurt them, and everyone's path is a little bit different. But I love this, Michael, because I think I would go as far to say that you are the most skeptical one that I've had on these calls in probably a year, and like I'm now taking it as a personal mission to try and try and win you over.
I'm the guy that created the Canon Explorers of Light back in 1993, and in that group, over a period of 10 years that I actually ran it myself for Canon, I had 102 very famous photographers, everybody from Sarah Moon to Barbara Bordnick to Sheila Metzner, Douglas Kirkland, Harry Benson, and John Paul Camponegro, Jeff Shiwi, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
And I am still friendly with the both of them. Now, I was selling images for, I'll go from the high and low, $1,000 to $750, limited editions. And after I sold 5, they increased in price by 5%. That market died 3 years ago when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And the galleries in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut closed up.
Yep.
People weren't coming into them.
Yep.
And that was that, and nobody wanted to buy images at those prices without seeing them in real life and touching the paper.
I'm pushing back on that. That is complete bullshit. Okay, we had so many people that sold better in COVID than at any other point in time.
Let me ask you something. You buy a suit? Would you buy a suit for $1,000 without seeing it and touching the fabric?
Yeah, I would. How do people?
Well, you're from Texas.
No. I'm from Southern California. How do people buy Teslas? How do people buy Teslas without ever test driving them at 10x the purchase price? You're in your own way. You're in your own way, Michael. You trust me?
No, I'm absolutely not.
You are.
I know.
You are.
I know exactly what's happening in the industry right now, and it's not good for any artist.
You gotta let me dissuade you. You gotta let me dissuade you of that. You gotta let me dissuade you of that. There is absolutely never, and don't take it as a sales pitch. I don't care if you ever sign up. I honestly don't. But you are deluding yourself if you don't think this is the single solitary greatest time in the history of this business to ever be an artist. Doesn't mean it's easy. But this industry is going through its a blockbuster Netflix moment. Okay, it's going through its Uber taxi cab moment. It just is. You can sell direct without anyone having a hand in your operation whatsoever, just as a result of doing regular, diligent, and focused marketing.
Art is a luxury.
Okay.
It's not food on the table. It's not transportation.
Yeah.
It's not clothes on your back. It's not rent.
Yeah.
It's not a mortgage.
Yeah.
It's a luxury.
Yeah.
All right. And there are people that are cutting back because they don't know what the future is going to hold.
Yeah.
Now you can deny that. You can tell me all kinds of stuff to bolster, whatever you're selling. And I'm here because I wanted to hear what you're selling because there's a possibility I might.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there's no denying that. But I need to be able to call things what they are because I've been living through it. I mean, I'm 77 years old and I'm still doing this.
Yeah. And you're gonna be able to say the same thing 20 years from now too.
No, less than that, I'll be dead. But I want to make sure that the images that I produce all this time and for the time that I have left, all right, become part of my estate. My family can reap the benefits of the sales.
I like that idea.
Like Melvin Sokolsky.
Yeah.
All right. Melvin Sokolsky is an incredible photographer. If nobody's familiar with his work, he's the guy that did the fashion pictures of models in a giant plastic bubble that were hung over the French countryside and rivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mel is 88 years old. His images are still selling, and he's producing a bunch of them on metal.
Yeah.
These things are selling for $45,000 and $55,000 each.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep. So why aren't yours, right? Where's the disconnect? I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. You want to set up a call? I'll go one-on-one with you, and I'll try to convince you.
Sure. We'll do a FaceTime.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, we'll do a Zoom.
Absolutely.
We'll do a Zoom just like this. I honestly, I say this all the time. I get so few people that actually push back on the things that I'm saying. I almost never get challenged, okay, ever. And I'm actually enjoying it. I really am, because I get so few people pushing back. So I don't want to hijack this session. I want to give everyone else a chance. You have my email. I'm going to email you the replay. You're already in our system. So
you have my two websites.
Yeah, I'll have it. I'll have all of it. April will know how to find you. I'll send you an email. Let's get on a Zoom, you and I.
Okay.
Deal. Thanks, Michael. All right. Who else? Questions? Comments? I'm serious. I legitimately get so few people pushing back ever. It's like, this is actually really, really enjoyable. Like, I would like to spend an hour going to war with Michael and attempting to convince him he's crazy and he's wrong. So my opinion, my contention is that you have a bunch, for you, the battle's already lost before you thought, because you're giving yourself all the reasons why this isn't working and this isn't working for me, and all these external things that you have no control over are somehow preventing you from taking the next step in your career, which is just nonsense. That's not the way that it works. And I've got the reason I can say that with such a level of confidence is I'm looking at the data of over 6,100 customers, a great many of which are selling incredibly, incredibly well. And why isn't it holding them back? What isn't it preventing them from working? No, not a single solitary one of their customers is like, I have to put my hands on that print before I get it. It's just not a reality. So you're stuck in the reality of the world that you were in whenever you were selling. And I'm telling you, the world's changed. It's changed. And I can show you. I'll show you. But I'm going to try to convince Michael offline and at other times. I muted you so people can't hear you. But I'm gonna ping you, Michael. Don't worry. That was super fun. Who else, guys? Questions, comments before we wrap her up? Annette, Dave, D, Ed, Eric. Oh yeah, Suzanne asked me a question. All right, hold on with that. Okay, Ed's ready to go. Ed's old school. Ed, what do you have? You'll need to unmute Ed, bottom left-hand corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got me now?
I got you now.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say this. The Gordon, he's not the old guy. I'm 87.
Oh, Gordon. See, there you go. Now we got an 87.
I'm a long-time fine art photographer from the days of Ansel Adams on. I had a chance to meet Ansel.
Oh, that's amazing.
At one point in time.
Was he cool? And, was he a nice guy?
I currently only show my images on Facebook, and I have a mailing list of other people over the years that are expressed interest in the photographs, and I send them, I should say, small JPEGs so they can enjoy the images. Okay. But I've had a lot of those people express interest in buying images. I'm excited. I don't know enough about your company, but I'm excited about what I hear, which is why I'm on here. And I'm trying to figure out the next way to make a step in turning that into cash flow.
Yes.
Because I'm still active in my business part, but I've noticed my business, which is totally unrelated to photography, is just fallen off tremendously since COVID.
Right.
But now I'm looking to sort of cash in, and my images are. I've been called the Ansel Adams of today by many people. I do a lot of black and whites in fine art photography. So my interest is right there. I'm interested in connecting with you and showing me what you guys have to offer.
Absolutely.
And how to get this thing in its dead center.
We'll have somebody follow up without question. First question, was Ansel Adams cool? Nice guy?
Oh, fabulous. Yeah. I met him out in the lobby of a seminar he was giving the year before he passed away. And digital had not made the scene yet. But I met him in the lobby and I shook hands with him, and he gave me 15 minutes. He had his arm on my shoulder. He said, "Young man, I think you're going to see some fabulous things in photography that I won't be able to enjoy." But I had already employed all of his techniques and read his books to fine art, to fine print, and so on. And I was the darkroom guy at the time, and I would just prior to me switching to digital, Yeah,
that's awesome. That's amazing. You must have some incredible work. And are you still shooting at your age?
Oh yeah, I definitely am. Yeah,
I love that.
I got a passion for photography that's just grows.
Well, that's just fantastic. See that, like, I say this all the time, and you probably don't know the context or the history, but it's like I've been doing this since a little bit before the pandemic hit. And when I say this, I mean having these Zoom sessions where you get a whole bunch of different artists and photographers from all walks of life 3 days a week coming on here, and I'm literally like amazed at the people that are in your age range and sometimes even in their 90s. Like, I'm still going, I'm still doing this. Like, I'm still sustained and like fulfilled by it. And like, what a blessing to have, to have something that gives you purpose and keeps you going your entire life and it never turns off, right? Like, I enjoy marketing, Ed, but the minute that I'm done and I don't have to work in marketing anymore, I'm done with the marketing. Okay. I will move to cooking or something else. So I'm saying, I just feel like it's such a blessing to have your vocation, this thing that you love, to be able to have something and have it be, I mean, it doesn't sound like it was your entire career, but it's just with you and it never stops the whole time. I mean, it's just awesome. It's an amazing thing.
I developed my first picture in a bathroom with a blanket over the door at 6 years of age.
Wow.
That's when I developed when I first saw the first image come out, I was hooked. But
I mean, what was that? What was that? Like a
about,
Kodak Brownie or something way back in the day?
Yeah, it was a Kodak Brownie. That's right.
Wow.
A 116 Brownie that I got from my grandmother's attic, and had a leather was peeling off of it, but it worked.
Oh, that's amazing. I love these kind of stories.
But the passion for me is, I firmly believe, I'm speaking as a photographer now, but I think you improve the way you see things. It's about seeing and visualization and seeing light and attributing it. And my excitement is the way I'm seeing today is more sophisticated than I have ever experienced. And it's been a blessing, absolute blessing. So my enthusiasm, I went on a 1 to 10 is a 15, that's where I'm at.
Oh, I love it. Well, don't worry. We're going to have somebody reach out, and I definitely want to see some of your work.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. Good talking to you, Ed. That's amazing. What a wonderful story. So Suzanne asked an interesting question, too, and I'm going to unmute you, too, Suzanne. And she asked, what role augmented reality that I think will play in purchasing, art and photography, presumably. The long and the short is, so, for those that don't know what augmented reality is, like, we have a really cool augmented reality feature already, right? And, I'm a marketer, okay? My job is to show off the sexy bells and whistles, right? And, if you're selling the steak, you got to sell the sizzle, right? Like, augmented, where's reality? April, will you get the page where I can show off the video? I'm having a hard time finding it right now. But we have this technology, and essentially what it does is that I can come to your website with my phone, right? And I press a couple of buttons on the product page, and what it does is it allows me to pull up, and it's not the art buyer, the AI, the augmented reality, April. And what it allows me to do, I'm going to show it in a second, but what it allows me to do is hold my camera, okay, and use the camera on my phone in the room, and it puts your art right there in the picture, right, in augmented reality. And so you can shrink the piece, do whatever you want with it, see what it's going to look like in the room, on the wall, with the paint scheme, all of those various different things. And it's awesome, and I love it. And, there's certain people that are like, oh my gosh, it's a game changer. Like, it's going to completely change the game. I find it more effective in the consultative selling, okay? Just reality. Like, most people don't do it. Most people don't use it. But sometimes consultatively, when, like, people are on the fence and, they're like, is this the right piece for me? Do I want to buy this? I have to show it to my husband. Oh, here, I found it. Let me just show this really quick because I'll show it. In April, I can't remember, did the video not play on mine? Okay, good, it's fine. Let me just show this quickly, and then I want to get to a larger point. So, like, look, you go to the website, right? And you essentially, what's cool about it is you don't need an application, right? So you don't have to download anything. You just use your phone. You go to our website. You this would be your product on the page. You press the one button, boom, you can see the camera opening up here, and it just takes your piece from the website and allows someone to project it and size it up and size it down on the real wall, right? Do I like it? Is it, like I said, is there like a ton of sizzle in this technology? Absolutely. It's amazing. Like, look at how incredible this is. Is the piece going to go here? Is it going to look incredible? What size do I want? Up and down. But in the grand scheme of things, maybe it helps out and maybe it gets an assist in like 10 to 15% of the sales that happen online. So it's a really cool feature, and it's important to have it, and we have it, but it's not the be all end all. What I think is coming though is Facebook is going to likely win. It's going to likely win with these things, okay? And as goofy as these things, as goofy as these things are now, they're going to get here. And it might take 10 years, right? But they're going to get here, and they're going to be the next greatest thing, and people will use them to buy art. But in the very near short term, and people are asking what that is, it's a virtual reality headset, right, that you like put on, you go into virtual reality. And I'm in there, I'm checking it all out. I'm seeing how art is displayed in those worlds and those modalities, and I'm not really worried about it right now. I'm just not, and it's not something I'm advocating the customers do right now in the short term. What I'm advocating customers do in the short term is the live art show. You want to talk about augmented reality? I could care less. The artist holding up the work that they created and talking about why it's special showing it off and merchandising it is about 1,000 times more effective than anything augmented reality can do right now. Do I think that's going to change? Yes. Am I bullish on the metaverse and augmented reality and virtual reality? But it's going to be, it feels years and years and years away, Suzanne. That's what I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's so many people, I get pitched on this so often. Like, let me go into this virtual, let me show you this incredible virtual gallery. I'm like, I don't even know how to drive this technology, and I'm a nerd. Like, where the hell do you think the art buyers are going to know how to drive this technology and are like, all of a sudden, this is where I want to be to buy art? Like, no, it's nonsense. Best way to sell art, in person, face to face. The next best way to sell art, okay, is what we're doing right now, via video, face to face, where you can interact and you can show things off. That's just the truth. That's the best of what we have available right now. And it turns out all of us are geographically fixed on this planet, and it turns out we can't be in multiple places at once, right? So that's just what it comes. That's just what it comes down to. But good question, Suzanne. And I'm hugely bearish on all of it, or bullish on all of it. Like, you know, I love to see what the technology is happening. I'd love to see what's happening with NFTs. I think there's some incredible stuff there, but it's still just really early days. And right now, let's just focus on the blocking and tackling, which is no one's doing their marketing. No one's doing it consistently. Everyone treats their marketing like their New Year's resolution. You sign up for that new gym, and you're going 4 days a week. In January, February comes along, it gets cold, and you haven't been in a month, right? Rinse and repeat year after year after year. That's how artists and photographers approach their marketing, and then nothing changes in the business. So if we don't fix that glitch, we got all kinds of problems. Excuse me. But good session today, guys. We went long too. I'm pleased with it. I'm going to send you the replay in short order. It will have all the links, all the various different things that I mentioned, a copy of this video that you can kind of peruse and do your thing. For those that said we would reach out, we will definitely reach out. Michael, I'll write you an email too, and you and I will go at it via Zoom session, which I'm looking forward to. We'll have a knockdown drag out and see if I can't convince you. Gordon, don't worry, I'm going to email you back. And for everyone else, huge thanks for coming on the session today. That was super fun. We do have a big sale running now because Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is another fantastic art selling holiday. And Michael, before you shake your head, okay, all of you guys just have a store in the mall. That's all. That's all. And people are like, Mother's Day doesn't work for me. That doesn't help sell art. Mother's Day drives a bunch of people into a purchasing modality, okay? And your store is in the mall, and you're saying, I'm just going to keep my doors closed, despite the fact that there's going to be a bunch of foot traffic in here. Never a good idea. So easy way to think about how important the art selling holidays are. But I will email you guys the replay. I appreciate all of you. I'll follow up all individually. Thanks for sticking on this session today with me, and hope to see you either on the inside or on the email or somewhere else. But speak soon.